Okay, I am continuing my reading in the scriptures. And just to reiterate again, I am reading through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints that consist of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be jumping around a little bit, skipping back and forth between volumes to some extent. I am currently reading in the book of Genesis, and when I read in the Bible, I will be including portions from what is called the Joseph Smith translation, which is an inspired correction or translation of the Bible done by Joseph Smith to restore those portions that had been lost over time. I'm currently in chapter 26. We are reading chapter 26 in this video. This means we are starting the second half of Genesis, the first half being concluded with the death of Abraham. So, chapter 26. The Lord promises Isaac posterity as the stars of heaven in number. In his seed all nations shall be blessed. The Lord prospers Isaac, temporally and spiritually, for Abraham's sake. Isaac offers sacrifices. Esau marries Hittite wives to the sorrow of his parents. Verse 1. And there was a famine in the land beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said, Go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because that Abraham obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. Okay, this is reiterating the covenant of Abraham. Isaac got the birthright, so he is also gaining the same covenant that Abraham received. But you'll note, this is one thing I do want to point out. He kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. There are a lot of people, at least outside the church, that want to say that the law of Moses was the first law God ever gave. That before Moses, there was no law. But this is our first statement of actual law from God. There are many commandments given before this time. There's plenty of indication that there was a law given. But this is the first time that we are stated that there was a law given. I just wanted to point that out. So, verse 6. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister. For he feared to say, She is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window, and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. And Abimelech called Isaac, and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidst thou, She is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, Lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, What is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in the same year 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. Okay, I got to pause there. I should have paused a little earlier, but we have the same basic story that we had with Abraham. Isaac goes and stays in the land of Gerar, which is ruled by Abimelech. And just like Abraham, he says his wife is his sister. Now, in this case, Abimelech doesn't take Rebekah, but he does look out at one point, and he sees Isaac and Rebekah, as it says, sporting. I like that phrase. They were making out. They were flirting. They were having fun as husband and wife. They were having a flirtatious moment. And Abimelech said, Wait a minute. You don't act like this with your sister. You only act like this with your wife. And Isaac said, well, I was a little worried that you guys might try to kill me because, she's a beautiful woman. And Abimelech said, no, come on. We don't do that here. And he gave the command. So no, nobody. Well, I like this. They hadn't taken her. And so they hadn't, unlike before with Abraham, there was no curse. God didn't smite the people as he did in the days of Abraham. But Abimelech is saying here, look, you put us in a position where we could have accidentally done something that could have brought great harm to our people. You put us in a bad situation. Isaac apologizes, and we're all good. Sorry, got an airplane going overhead. But I would like to point out in the book of Jasher, it tells us, and again, this is apocryphal, so I think it's probably true, because this happened with Abraham like 100 years earlier. And that was happening with Isaac. Would it be the same man, Abimelech? But according to the book of Jasher, the name Abimelech became the title of the king of the Philistines. So there was the Abimelech in the days of Abraham, but this Abimelech is his son, just like Isaac is the son of Abraham. So these are the two guys of the next generation. And this shows you that the righteousness of Abimelech was passed on to his son. His son maintained at least a good portion of that righteousness. So let us continue though. Verse 15, they envied him, yes. For all the wells which his father's servant had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. So when Abraham left the land of Gerar, all the people filled in the wells. And Isaac is here. He came back, and he's probably opening the wells. And he's a great nation. Great store of flocks, possession of flocks, herds, a great store of servants. He, like Abraham, was a great household. And Abimelech saying, wait, you're getting too big for us. You got to find your own place. We don't have enough room for you anymore. So anyways, verse 17. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, the water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And they digged another well, and strove for that also, and he called the name of it Sitnah. And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not, and he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, for now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. So he went about opening up his father's old wells. He opened one, and the man of Gerar came and said, nope, this is ours. You can't have it. And Isaac didn't fight him. I find that interesting. Isaac didn't claim it. He didn't fight him. He said, okay, we'll go over here. So the first well they dig, called Esek, and that means strife. The second one they dig, he calls Sitnah, which means opposition. Third one he digs, called Rehoboth, which means broad open places. So he is going around, he is trying to settle in places, but the people of Gerar keep coming out saying, no, you can't be here, this is our stuff. On his third try, he finds a place to settle. So here we go. Now, verse 23. And he went up from thence to Beersheba, and the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants digged a well. Then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzah, one of his friends, and Phicol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? And they said, we saw certainly that the Lord was with thee. And we said, let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee. And as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace, thou art now the blessed of the Lord. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink, and they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware unto one to another. And Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. So again, the city of Gerar is coming as Abimelech is coming out. He's bringing his friends and the captain of his army, and they're coming out. And Isaac's like, "Why are you coming to me? You know, you kicked me out. You told me to leave. So what's going on?" And they just, well, we just want to make a treaty. We want to make an oath, a covenant of peace. We won't do any harm to you. You won't do any harm to us. They realize that Isaac is getting powerful. Abraham was already a great nation by himself. He was a great people. Isaac is increasing what Abraham already had. And they realize that Isaac is powerful. And so they're coming to make a peace treaty. They don't want to fight Isaac. Now, I think Abimelech, if it is true that this is the original Abimelech's son, he probably remembers his father and the way he dealt with Abraham, and they made a good peace together, and he's saying, let's do the same thing. Let's make a peace together. Now, we got just 2 more verses left here, real quick. Verse 34. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and Beshemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which were a grief of mind unto Isaac and to Rebekah. Grief of mind, meaning great sorrow or grief. Alternate Hebrew translation, bitterness of spirit. So Esau marries 2 of the daughters of the Hittites. Now, I did a little research, and the Hittites are the descendants of Heth. Heth being a son of Canaan, the son of Ham. Therefore, these are Canaanites. I know in the previous video, when Abraham bought the field of Machpelah, I said I wasn't sure because we had the sons of Heth, and then we had the Ephron the Hittite. But they are the same people. And so these are the Canaanites. These are the people that cannot have the priesthood. Esau, marrying into the tribes of the Canaanites, has now, for a second time, basically, despised his birthright. He sold it to Jacob for food, and now he is marrying outside of that covenant line. And so his children will not be able to hold the priesthood because of these marriages. And this is why it was a sorrow to Isaac and Rebekah, because it's not that they didn't like Esau, and they probably had good friendly relations with the Hittites. And there's no doubt in my mind that they loved all their grandchildren born to Esau. But they knew that those children, those grandchildren, could not hold the priesthood. They could not have the blessings of the gospel to that extent. They could not have the blessings of the priesthood. And for that, it caused great sorrow. I will leave that here and see you in the next one.